Well, I'm joined by Cheryl Cecchetto, the lady behind Passion to Create. She is the woman behind Hollywood's most prestigious events. I love this book. I just wanted to ask you about some of the famous stories in here, which are so interesting to read. 2006, G'day USA. Bit of drama with Hugh Jackman. What happened?
Well, first of all, Hugh is your favorite. He's my favorite. But at the last minute, his manager decided he wasn't going to sing with the Qantas choir.
Right.
And I love Qantas and I love their choir. And I thought to myself, okay, because it wasn't his key. So I went backstage to tell these wonderful, young, beautiful teenagers that he wasn't going to sing. I could not say it. So instead, I went back and I actually stalked Hugh. And I followed him and seriously kidnapped him. And I had all the waiters hide the manager, and I took him on stage and he says, well, I don't know if it's my key, I don't know. And I said, it's all going to be perfect, everything's good. Literally just kept pushing him along, and there's the choir waiting, and he sang your favorite, I Still Call Australia Home. Went down in history. He was magnificent, and thank goodness I sort of stepped out of the box on that one.
That's fantastic. Okay, now he's a beloved Aussie star, but there was one that almost put you in a grave early, you said.
Yes, and on the Daily News, it was noted that that was Russell Crowe. It was not Russell Crowe.
Okay.
And if you think I'm going to tell you who it is, I'm not.
You can tell me off camera.
I have to get home, and I'm not going to be able to get on that great plane to get home if I tell you. There's no way. But it was a very eventful evening, and I have to say that like anywhere, there's always going to be 1, 2, or 5. But Hollywood has a lot of good, incredible celebrities that do so much. And I've had the experience. I get into the rooms and I see all of this taking place. I mean, we just co-produced the Governor's Awards for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. There's, you know, Harry Belafonte. And last year was Angelina Jolie. The year before that, Oprah. You have to pinch yourself thinking, how did I get from here to there to be in a room to listen to those who could speak so beautifully? So I'm twisting your question to good news.
Yeah, well, I'd love to hear about this diva, not who it is, but some of their diva demands. Tell me about their behaviour on the night. I
have to say, in all fairness again, look, I'm the nice person, I'm Canadian, remember? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I have to say that when you are in the limelight like they are, or you've got like every hour something on the go and you have to be up, you have to make sure that everything is in its place because there's such expectations. The whole world wants to be on and right and perfect, entertaining all the time. So the demands are that all the steps of service are there for them, that the riders are fulfilled. I really don't care. If you like green tea, you got green tea. You know, if you want this soundtrack behind your speech, then fantastic, let's go for it. So it's really a comfort zone. It's like following a politician. I call really the celebrities in Los Angeles are the ambassador to the world. They are the politicians. So there's definitely a lot of checks and balances, and I have no problem whatsoever securing them for them.
Can you run through some of those things that they were asking for on that event?
Well, in that particular event, a very funny thing is that they wanted only green M&Ms. I'm thinking to myself, okay, am I going to just order green M&Ms? It costs you X amount of dollars per pound. I'm just going to pick out all the other colors. Well, I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I'm very frugal, let's put it that way. And there was a lot of discussion about how they were going on stage and how they were to be received and, you know, what they needed and what they could say and what they could do. But once they got into the bigger picture, and it was celebrating Australia and the States and the connections and the relationships, they actually really calmed down, had a terrific time.
Oh, good. And it's not Russell Crowe.
It was, I promise you, look, I'm looking straight in the camera, it was not Russell Crowe.
Okay, the Primetime Emmy Governor's Ball. Sounds like it was a wonderful event, but then Seal caused a bit of a hiccup, which you managed to just adapt to. Can you tell us about that?
You know, I'm really thrilled with any of my events if we have whoever to perform of that stature. And the evening of the Emmys, literally, I'm running around with my gown and checking out, making sure that my clients, the Television Academy, coming up to 17 years now, everybody's satisfied. And Seal just walked up to me and said, Cheryl, can I sing? And I'm like, you're Seal, I'm thinking in my head, and of course you can. So off to the orchestra I go and said, Seal's going to sing this song, he's going to sing it to his wife. You got about 1 minute, we changed the light cues, we set the microphone for him, we guide him on stage, and literally didn't miss a beat. And what I loved the next day in the LA Times, it said, oh, and Seal was at the Governor's Ball, what a great event. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that was a good one. But that'll happen.
Yeah.
And you want it to happen. You want the unexpected to take place. You know?
Those spontaneous things are always the best, aren't they?
Always the best. And I think that what's really nice about the book is that there's always a second message in the book besides the celebrity events, which are so much fun, because everybody wants to know behind the scenes, which is terrific. But I think that's what the message is how can you celebrate and how can you be ready for the unknown? And there's a great chapter in there called The Envelope. Please. And you can throw your own Emmy party at home, your own Oscar party at home.
Well, let's talk about that. In the book, you give so many tips.
Many tips.
For people who are trying to plan events at home, what are the top 3 things they should do to throw a successful event?
You better want to love company. You have to set the tone. That's number 1. Let the evening go through a series of surprises. And I talk about that also. And then come together as a group. The song Happy Birthday is there for a reason.
Yeah.
So you have to come together and connect. I was saying yesterday that the whole world is looking down. If you just literally look outside the street, everybody's looking down at their phone. No one's connecting anymore. We need to connect. We need to celebrate. And that's a huge, strong message in the book.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for releasing this book. It's brilliant. There's some great stories. There's so many great tips. And I'm going to keep this one, but where can everyone else get a copy?
Dymocks National, all across Australia. Today, first in Australia. Please do not tell Canada this. It's just a secret between you and I.
Thanks so much for coming in.
You're so very welcome. Thank you for having me, Andrew.